In this video, we're talking about exactly where to find fractional jobs. And this is an important conversation because you are spending your mornings scrolling through LinkedIn jobs board or signing up for freelance marketplaces. You're looking in the exact places where your value is lowest. First, I'm going to explain why looking for a fractional job actually turns into a trap that turns you into an underpaid 1099 employee. Then we're going to talk through the 4 specific types of companies that are actively hiring fractional executives right now. I'll also share the exact framework you need to build a network that brings these high-value opportunities directly to you. And I'll explain why the people who fund your target clients are your most valuable, untapped resource. Let's dive in. When you decided to transition into fractional work, the first question you ask is, where do I find the jobs? So you do what you've always done when looking for a role. You go to job boards, you search fractional CMO or part-time CFO. But here's the reality. Fractional work is not a job search. If you treat it like a job search, you're just going to recreate a job for yourself, but without the benefits, without the perks, and without the security. You will become a glorified 1099 employee. When a company posts a fractional job on a public board, they're usually looking for a bargain. They want executive level strategy, but they want to pay freelancer rates. And because the job is public, you are instantly commoditized. You're competing against hundreds of other applications based on a resume and an hourly rate. If you want to command executive rates and build a predictable, profitable fractional business, you have to stop looking for jobs. You have to start looking for the specific companies that have the budget and the urgent need for your expertise. The biggest mistake fractional executives make is assuming that their expertise is enough to get them hired. You spend hours polishing your LinkedIn profile and perfecting your proprietary method. But what's the point of having the best lemonade stand in the world if you set it up at the end of a dead-end street where no one can find you? You have to get your lemonade stand in front of the people who are actually thirsty. And right now, there are 4 primary buyer profiles that are actively hiring fractional executives. First, early stage startups. These companies are preparing for funding. They need investor-grade financial models or a go-to marketing strategy, but can't afford the $250K full-time executive. Second, small and mid-sized businesses. These are founder-led companies and they're hitting a growth ceiling. They have process chaos, they have founder burnout, and they have operational structure to scale. Third, high growth and scaling companies. These companies are expanding rapidly. They need a fractional CTO to architect new systems, a fractional CHRO to build the talent infrastructure because their growth is outpacing their leadership. And fourth, companies in transition. These companies are dealing with an unexpected executive departure, a turnaround, or maybe an M&A integration. They also need immediate seasoned leadership with zero gap. When you know exactly who is hiring, you're going to stop blasting your resume into the void and start targeting the companies that actually need you. Once you know the 4 buyer profiles, you have to find the specific companies within those profiles that are ready to buy right now. You do this by looking for structural signals. Look for companies that just received a new round of funding. Hey, just closed our C round is one of the highest conversion trigger phrases for fractional engagement. They have cash. They have aggressive growth targets. And venture capitalists are increasingly requiring them to bring in seasoned fractional leadership to protect their investment. Look for companies that are rapidly hiring in one department, but have a glaring hole in another. If they just hired 5 new sales reps, but they don't have a VP of sales, they have a gap they need to fill right now. Look for companies where a key executive just departed. When a CMO leaves suddenly, the CEO is in a panic. They don't have time to run a 3-month executive search. They need someone to step in immediately, stabilize the team, and keep the momentum going. You aren't looking for a job posting. You're looking for the business condition that creates immediate need for your expertise. The most powerful way to get in front of these companies is to build a network that does the finding for you. But you can't just network randomly. You need to use the helps, sells, and funds framework. You need to map out exactly who is sitting at the table with your target client. First, who helps them? These are the adjacent experts. If you're a fractional CMO, who else helps your client? A fractional CFO or a fractional COO? When a fractional CFO is inside a company fixing their cash flow, they often realize the real problem is the marketing engine is broken. If you have a relationship with that CFO, they'll bring you in. Second, who sells to them? These are the vendors and agencies. If you're a fractional CTO, who sells to your clients? Software development agencies, maybe cybersecurity firms. When an agency is trying to sell a massive project to a CEO who doesn't understand tech, that agency needs a fractional CTO on the client side to champion the deal. If you partner with those vendors, they will introduce you to their clients. Third, who funds them? This is the most lucrative, untapped resource. Who funds your target client? Venture capital firms, private equity groups, angel investors. When a VC firm injects $5 million into a startup, they want to protect their investment. They want experienced adults in the room. If you build relationships with the partners at those VC firms, they will literally place you into their portfolio companies. They become your ultimate referral engine. So when we talk about where to find fractional jobs, we're not talking about scrolling through Indeed or Upwork to become an underpaid 1099 employee. We're talking about moving your lemonade stand to Main Street so you are highly visible to the 4 specific buyer profiles that are actively hiring. Targeting the companies that are already showing structural signals they need to hire right now. And building a strategic network using the help, sells, and funds framework. When you stop looking for public job postings and start leveraging visibility, targeting, and strategic networks, finding fractional roles stops becoming a frustrating search. It becomes a predictable pipeline of high-value opportunities. Now that you understand where to find the best fractional opportunities, if you want to see how to turn those opportunities into a predictable, scalable business, go watch this video next. The system behind predictable pipeline for fractional executives. In that video, you'll see how to take these strategies and build them into a cohesive system that runs even when you're busy delivering client work. Go watch that video next.